friends, and welcome to another episode of Because Why. So last time, Catherine asked me why the Star Wars prequels were considered such a failure. So this is when everyone I know and love yells at me because I've only ever seen the original Star Wars in bits and pieces, with lots of time elapsed between those pieces. So I may basically have never seen them. That being said, I did see episode 1 and 3 in theaters many moons ago, and I do have this little thing called the internet to kind of help me with research and answering this question, so I'm going to do my best to not disappoint all of my friends and family who are huge fans. Let's see how this goes. The really simple answer to this question is just that the hype for these movies was so astronomically high, and they really missed the mark. So the biggest complaints against these movies were that they were, A, badly written, and incredibly dull. The original trilogies kept things simple by focusing on these guys are evil, these guys are good, these guys are gonna battle it out with crazy swords made of lasers. With the prequels, though, a lot of the tension was destroyed just by the simple fact that we knew who was going to live on and who probably wasn't from the get-go. So even though there's a super badass scene with Yoda floating around like a tiny elderly Piccolo against a very scrotumnal-faced Senator Palpatine, all the CGI backflips and close calls does not erase the viewer's knowledge that Yoda's gonna live. And let's not forget the dialogue. The dialogue. It was top-notch awful, especially when it came to scenes between Padme and Anakin. Here's just a short clip from the infamous fireplace scene.
Now that I'm with you again, I'm in agony. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you, I can't breathe. I'm haunted by the kiss that you should never have given me.
If that is not some copied verbatim from a Zanga fanfic about trying to date Gerard Way, who also happens to be a vampire shit, I don't know what is. Now, of course, we cannot make this video without talking about the main scapegoat for these films, Jar Jar Binks. Full disclosure, I really liked Jar Jar Binks when I saw the first film. Granted, I was 10, so when there's a character that speaks in a funny voice and is really clumsy, of course I'm gonna laugh. But for the devoted fans who are old enough to at least see a PG-13 movie without a parent, Jar Jar was the bane of everyone's existence. He was in practically every scene, he represented the lowest common denominator of humor, and he basically didn't do anything. He was the court jester who decided to show up for a Senate hearing. Last, but certainly not least, the main reason that everyone hates these films is because a lot of fans believe they took away from the original trilogy. Thanks to these movies, there's no more mystique behind how Darth Vader became the man draped in black. As the good people at Korra explored via Slate, quote, before they made the prequels, Anakin Skywalker was a good pilot lured to the dark side of the Force. But now we know he's a whiny and annoying kid, and a hopelessly acted romantic fool, and inexplicably the guy who designed C-3PO and R2-D2's best friend. By doing such a poor job fleshing out these important characters, which, mind you, was kind of the whole point of doing these prequel movies, these movies left a lot of devoted fans incredibly disappointed and basically shouting, "Burn them! Burn them with fire!" So there you have it, Catherine. The prequels to Star Wars are so hated because not only was the script and dialogue inherently terrible, but episodes 1, 2, and 3 ended up only taking away from the beloved original films, which is the equivalent of the original sin when it comes to prequel movies. So my question for you this week is, what about nightmares makes it so that when you wake up from them and try to go back to sleep, you go right back into the same nightmare? This is the look of a woman who started editing and realized that she didn't film an outro. Okay, bye!